What's up, everybody? Average Dwarf here, bringing you my daily video for May 15th. We're going to show you what I've gotten up to in Azeroth over the past 24 hours. Some of this was on stream, some of this was off stream. Feel free to come check me out over there on Twitch. I'll be streaming pretty much every day for the next month or so. Alright, let's talk about today's video and the shenanigans that ensued yesterday. I timed my first 16 of the season, which was a Magister's Terrace. That gave me 15 Resilient Keystones unlocked, and I said I gotta do more of this. So I went from being hesitant to do high keys, 15 16s, to I just went ahead and knocked out 3400 IO. It did not take me that long. I was fortunate. I met up with a monster bear druid who wanted to run a couple of 17s together after we timed our first one, and there it is right there. On our second 17 Sky Reach, I got my IO up to 3410, and so now we're done. That's it. That's all for me. After I get 3400 IO, I'll still do high keys. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it after I got to the 16 level, and I got a little bit more comfortable with the failure rate required to time keys that high. I had an absolute blast. But the thing about World of Warcraft that keeps me coming back, the M+ content that keeps me coming back patch after patch after patch, are shenanigan keys with the boys. Keys just like this one. Alright, we got an 11 Magister's Terrace. This is my Blood Death Knight Brune. You will be seeing a whole lot more of Brune now that 3400 IO is done on my druid. You know why? Because blood is fun. Blood is a great fun spec. You know what's not fun? Feeling like I need to spend a significant amount of time outside of Azeroth in order to perform well inside of Azeroth. Tanking as an activity, like playing a Blood Death Knight, this is buckets and buckets and buckets of fun. I love it. However, if I want to get much higher than where my Death Knight is now at the 12, 13 level, I'm going to have to do research on routes and everything. Routes aren't all of it. Routes are the most significant part because that's the part that the tank has direct control over. And if you screw up the route, you are not timing a 16 or higher. So I'm going to stop my Death Knight probably around the 12 or 13 level, not because I couldn't go higher than that in terms of the fun factor or playing my spec or anything like that, just because I don't want to do a ton of research after my druids already beat the game. That's what 3400 IO is to me. I beat the game. All right, the rest of this season is all the other parts of Azeroth that I love. Playing whatever spec I want to play, not worrying too much about AOTC, not worrying too much about continuing to push rating, I'm a big delver. I love professions. I think that WoW has never been better in terms of a game for solo players or people that are looking to pub content. I think WoW has never been as good as it is right now. Look for a video on that this weekend or early next week. I'm going to do a video about why I think WoW is so good at the moment. Speaking of specs I love to play, has anybody else tried Survival Sentinel? Oh my goodness, this spec is just buckets and buckets and buckets of fun. It's every bit as fun as Blood DK, and especially it complements engineering really well, just in terms of like the theme of a character. Super nerd. Alright, super nerd alert, here I am, I've been exposed. But playing a Dwarf Sentinel Survival Hunter, throwing bombs around, I got a Mechanical Sheep pet. I'll be really working and getting better at this spec as time goes on here. I know most survival hunters are playing pack leader, but it just doesn't interest me. I don't like anything about it. It's even worse than Holy Paladin, infinite mana, face roll trash with no Crusader Strife, but we'll worry about that later. So what's going to be next for me now that I'm done with the season in terms of what my seasonal goals are? Well, a lot of shenanigans. I will continue to maybe bump my rating up a key or two here or there on my druid when I feel like doing something hard. But I have a basically untouched monk, Mistweaver monk, and I have never gone very high on a Mistweaver monk until they took away Crusader Strike, Holy Paladin's trash. Until that change happened, Paladin was always my preferred melee healer. So I have this monk that hasn't done anything above a 6, that right now is sitting on about 60 mythic crests. So I think that what I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and craft and then void core a Mistweaver Monk weapon and see how high I can get on a Mistweaver Monk. Will I get to 3,400? I don't know. Am I interested in getting to 3,400? We'll see how fun it is to play. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for checking me out, watching me get to 3,400 on a Resto Druid. Now we're going to have some fun on this channel and on the Twitch stream. As always, like, subscribe, come check me out on Twitch. Peace!